thumbs up এটা দি দিবা ঠিক আছে so it's already on. I have on that. Sir. So it will be visible there once it is on. Sound this? Sound. So, very good morning, all of you, from Csap Ias Academy. So today we have got the date 8 September, and from the last few months, you all know about that why this particular day was very important for us, 8 September. So today we have got our speaker, Shri Anil Swarup sir, who is a former IAS officer, who has got an extensive tenure of services serving for this country, and he also went on for holding some important positions, be it in the coal ministry, be it in the education department. So he has got a wide experience in this whole journey of civil services, and since you all know that how this path of civil services is so important, and if you are planning to take up a service in your upcoming times, so today it is the best podium for you all to have an experienced person like Swarup sir, who will give you an insights about how to prepare, what are the positives, what are the negatives, what can be done for you to become an able civil servant in the coming time periods. So this will be an insightful webinars for each and everyone to have a person like Swarup sir, who can have a greater insights of the webinar sessions, and also he will put up various requests provided by you all. He will gather to the ultimate request or ultimate questions that will be given forwarded by you all. So I very much welcome Shri Anil Swarup sir on this podium, and I am handing over my mic to sir so that he can share the relevant experiences as well as the path of journey to civil services in this particular webinar session. So please, sir. Keep this in the pocket.
A very good morning to all of you. What a pleasure it is to be back here at this institute. I hope I am reaching out to you. I hope the voice is reaching out to you. If we can reduce the intensity of this fan, probably the voice will not get distorted. So once again, a very good morning to all of you, and the time that I am going to spend today with you today would be basically first to convey the importance of the civil service, why I became a civil servant, and post-retirement, how I feel that if I were to be born again, I'd like to be a civil servant all over. The enormous potential that this service has. The IAS, the Foreign Service, the Police Service, and other allied services, even the State Civil Service. What changes that you can bring about in yourself and in others if you serve as a civil servant. So to me, when I joined the civil service, I had made a very conscious effort. It was my conscious decision to be a part of civil service. Yes, my father wanted me to become an IAS officer, but I made his dream into my dream and then decided to become a civil servant. I'm telling you this for a very particular reason. Civil service examinations, whether they are central examination conducted by UPSC or the state civil service examination, these are very tough examinations. Lakhs of people appear in this examination, and hence the first thing that is absolutely imperative is that you should be very clear in your mind that you want to become a civil servant. Until you have that clarity in your mind, the focus that is required to prepare for the civil service will not come through. So first thing is that clarity. I come across many aspirants, I've been guiding aspirants for the past 5 years, who are not very clear in their mind whether they should become civil servants or not. That clarity has to be there. If there is any confusion in your mind, clear that confusion and then commit yourself totally to the preparation of civil service. As I say that, the other point that you should keep in mind is very clearly that there are sacrifices that are involved in acquiring anything in life. And here is something which is considered to be difficult. So here too, you'll have to sacrifice, you have to plan, you have to work out at length as to how you're going to prepare for a civil service. What I will try and do today is to suggest to you the manner in which you should go about preparing for the civil service. First point I have already clarified, that you should be clear in your mind that you want to become a civil servant. The next is that you should start preparing to prepare for the civil service. There are many of you who would be appearing in 2025, others would be wanting to appear in 2026, 27, whichever year and whichever examination that you're preparing. The fundamental aspect is to prepare for the civil service. Almost everyone will tell you what books and how to go about it, but I'm going to tell you something different. There are certain general points that I'd like to bring to your notice. The first point is, as I said, there are few sacrifices to be undertaken. Why? Because the time is limited and it depends on the manner in which you use that time that becomes extremely, extremely critical. We don't understand that because subconsciously or unconsciously, we end up wasting a lot of time. And I think the biggest time waster is this telephone. You spend a lot of time without even realizing that this is consuming so much of your time. So the first sacrifice that I would expect of you is to give up this phone for 22 hours and keep it with you only for 2 hours. Because it can be a very useful instrument in terms of acquiring knowledge, in terms of understanding issues. It's a very, very useful instrument. But unfortunately, on account of the culture and the systems that we have now, almost every day you have a friend's day or a father's day or mother's day or grandfather's day. Every day there is a day and we end up spending time. When I talk to young kids, I have granddaughters who spend so much time on this phone. So you have to get rid of this phone. But this is just the beginning. You have also to identify which are the areas where you waste your time and how do you do that? What you do is to work out a schedule for yourself, and before you do that, write down how do you spend the time now during the course of the day. What time do you wake up? What do you do after that? How much time do you take eating your breakfast? What do you do thereafter? How much time do you rest? How much time do you study? What do you study? All that is important. So what you do is, to begin with, work out your schedule as of now. And you will discover that you're wasting a lot of time, apart from the time that you are spending on your phone. You will be spending a lot of time on other things, which is, for example, if you're going to the college every day, what do you do while going to the college? You would be taking 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes traveling down to college. You are going on bicycle, you are going on a bus, you are driving a car yourself, whatever you're doing. What do you do during that half an hour as you travel down to your college? And you can do a lot in that time. More often than not, we are wasting that time either chatting away to glory or looking around, enjoying the environment, nothing wrong in it. But now, every time has to be determined. What do you do during the course of the time? Similarly, when you are in the college, I'm sure in degree colleges, you have free periods in between. What do you do during those free periods? All this is very, very important. So, time management becomes the key. You have 24 hours a day. If you sleep for 7 hours, you still have 17 hours left. If you put in 10 to 12 hours a day, which is quite possible for preparing for the civil service, the chances are that you'll make it. But it has to be very organized. So, this is point number one. How do you organize your time during the course of the day? Time management is critical. I think whichever institute you are joining for coaching, whether it's here or anywhere else, They should be able to guide you how to work out a schedule. What I usually did was, I did not study one subject throughout the day. I studied different subjects at different point in time, just for getting some variety. One more point I'd like to tell you while working out a schedule is that you must have at least 45 minutes to 1 hour for physical exercise. Now, this physical exercise could be going to gym, could be brisk walking, could be doing yoga, anything, but you should. Because if you're not physically fit, then you could be in trouble. It may not have a direct bearing, but indirectly, if you're not physically fit, it will impact your absorption, comprehension, ultimately even answer writing. All this, you'll find it very, very difficult. The second point that I would like to draw to your notice, these are general points, that please enjoy this journey. It's very important. You know, most of us who are preparing for the civil service treat it as a burden on our head, and it makes us worried. A bit of worry is fine, but if you carry this as a burden on your head and you don't enjoy the journey, you will find it very difficult to move on. For you to succeed, not only in this examination, in life, you must smile as much as you can. Because see, everyone would be somewhat tense in an examination like this. The chances are that you could be a bit tense. But why be tense on account of being tense? Everyone who's appearing in the exam has some pressure, has some tension, but by feeling that pressure, you will discover that whatever you can understand or learn, it will take a longer period of time. These are general points, but are extremely, extremely important. Don't be burdened by what you are attempting to achieve. And the way to go about it is, enjoy every moment, enjoy every step, and seek satisfaction out of these steps that you take. For example, if you are studying a particular topic and you come to understand the topic, live in that enjoyment. It's very important. Then now let me come down to more specific issues about preparation. One, there are three important aspects of preparing for the civil service. One is comprehension and acquisition of knowledge. I'll explain at length what it means. The second is analytical skills, and the third is communication skills. I'll explain all these three for you because all these three are extremely important. You will not find what I'm telling you in any book. But if you focus on these three aspects, the chances are that you will evolve as a more equipped person to prepare for the civil service examination. Let me start by comprehension and acquisition of knowledge. Comprehension actually means that if you read something, how quickly and how well you understand what you've read. You will discover that many people have to read the same thing over and over again to understand what is written there. The other person will read it once and he will understand what is written. So he requires lesser time to comprehend as compared to others who's reading 3-4 times. How do you improve your comprehension? One of the factors of comprehension is your vocabulary. If you don't know the meaning of the word, then you will not understand what's written there. So you should make a conscious effort to improve your vocabulary. One book that I will suggest to you which can help you improve your vocabulary is by Norman Lewis, 30 Days to Words of Power. Because they tell you and explain to you a variety of words. It is not essential that you may use all those words in your own speech or writing, but for you to comprehend, you should know those words. And that book makes it easy for you to acquire vocabulary. Once you acquire a better vocabulary, your comprehension will improve. There are other ways to improving comprehension, but getting the right word or understanding the right word, improving your vocabulary is a critical part of it. Second, when you read something, it's very important. When you read something, it has to be focused reading, meaning thereby that you should be totally attentive to reading. If there are any disturbances around you, remove them. Because sometimes what happens is you read, but you're not actually reading. If you're not focused in your reading, you will take greater time to comprehend that. Hence, practice, practice and practice. Focus on what you're reading. It is important for you to do that because many aspirants like you come back to me and tell me, sir, we are unable to remember what we read. Most of us have this problem. You read it, but you forget it. One way to learn or remember something is, when you read, you should be absolutely focused. It will help you comprehend and it will help you learn. That is the first step to learning. Try and read well. Second, because it's important to understand how you can learn, how you can remember. So first, read in a very focused manner. Number two, when you read, you try and understand what you're reading. Because if you understand, the chances of you learning what you've read are much better. Now, suppose you are reading something, you are reading it intently, you are reading it in a focused manner, but somehow you're not understanding certain parts of it. Note it down. Note down whether you don't understand the meaning of a word or a phrase or what is written there. Then thereafter, after you've read, you can go to either Google. Google Uncle is very useful. You type there and you'll find all the explanations. I mean, even today, 6 years after retirement, I refer to Google when I don't understand anything. Go to Google, it will get the explanation. But understanding is very important. So read intently, understand it. What do you do after that? After you read, after you understand, keep the book down, close your eyes and reflect or revise what you've read. This also is very important, because if you have read properly, if you understood properly, if you reflect on what you read, then the chances are that you're going to retain. Most of us don't do it. We read it and then we forget it. We go on to the next topic. No, there is a Japanese concept by the name of Pomodoro. It says, study intently for 25 minutes and then relax for 5 minutes and reflect. So what I have said is, read intently, try and understand, comprehend, then reflect. Then the fourth step, after you've read, after you understood, after you reflected, find time to discuss what you've read. So if you follow this methodology, the chances are you will be able to remember what you've read. Now the question is, what do you read? That is also very important. Usually people ask me, sir, should I prepare notes? My suggestion to them is, don't prepare separate notes. What you should do is, for every topic, whether it's state civil service or central civil service, for every topic, select the right book. There could be different books for different topic. There could be more than one topic in one book, but selection of the right book is very important, because today the problem is not of information. The problem is surfeit. Yeah, there is so much information available that's very difficult to pick up which of the information is good, and that's where if you join the right coaching institute, they will be able to advise you that this is the book that you should read. Now this book then becomes your notes. You use that book as notes, and while reading it, if you feel some additional matter has to be added, use a piece of paper and write it there. Especially on subjects where you have to update the data, update the information, use that slip, put that slip at the place where the chapter is, so that when you revise, you are able to reflect. The second part that you should do as you read is, once you selected the right book, what you do is make points. The reason why you should make points, that when you revise, you don't have to read the entire book all over again. By reading those points, you will be able to recall what is written. If you are unable to recall, then you read that. So it helps you in your revision. And I tell you, I took law as a subject. I had never studied law before. These points really helped me revise on the last day. I could revise the entire subject in one day. So it can be done, provided you go about it in this manner. The other facility that is available to you today, which was not available during my time, were the videos. But unfortunately, there are too many videos available on every topic. There again, I think your coaching center should be able to tell you, for this topic, in this subject, this is the best video. So that is how you should go about it. Read it, understand it, reflect upon it, discuss it, watch the right video. The chances are that you will be able to retain what you've read. It's a bit difficult, it might appear a bit cumbersome and difficult, but once you get into it, you will start enjoying it. The advantage here is that if you understand something through reflection or through discussion, you will get a great sense of satisfaction that you've understood this. And that itself is a reward. You know, ultimately, none of us has any control over the final result of what we are doing. But if you follow the journey properly, if you follow the process properly, if you enjoy the journey, the chances that you'll succeed. So we've discussed how do we acquire knowledge. Now we come to the second point, analytical skills. Now, how do you analyze? Because if you look at the examination papers, either of the state civil service or the central government, you will find that the questions are not straightforward. They ask you to analyze. Now, acquiring knowledge is not as difficult as developing analytical skills stuff. Because if you've not done that through your life, then suddenly you can't become analytical. It is an attribute of mind that has to be cultivated. How do you do that? Now listen to this very carefully. It can be done, but it will take time. To develop analytical skills, you have to read material that is analytical in nature. Now what is that material? Readily available material are the editorial articles of any newspaper. So whichever newspaper you are reading, you must read very intently, daily, regularly, all the editorial articles. There are huge number of benefits in terms of reading editorial articles, because editorial articles connect you to the current events, because almost all editorial articles are on issues which are relevant today. So that will help you analyze even current issues. But apart from that, it will help you cultivate the art of analyzing, meaning thereby what is the background, what are the pros, what are the cons, what is the conclusion, because all these articles are written by established people who are men of letters or who have had personal experience, and they are able to present their point of view in a very logical manner. This is very, very important. This also leads me to I'll digress a bit on preparing for current affairs. Many people ask me, how do I prepare for current affairs? Now, there is no end to, there is no syllabus, so to say, of current affairs. Anything that is current and important is current affairs. How do you prepare for that? My suggestion to you is, you have to focus on 3 pages of a newspaper. One is the editorial page, which I've already said, because the editorial page carries all important or a reflection on all important issues, current issues. The second page is the page on Indian or economy, Indian and international economy, and third is international affairs. If you read these 3 pages properly, supplemented by probably notes given by any institute that you are attending, that should be good enough for current affairs. But cultivate it as a habit. Don't prepare it as a subject. You should be inquisitive to know what is happening around you. So, when I was preparing for civil service, I never, so to say, prepared for current affairs. It became a part of my existence. So every day, in any case, I used to read these parts of the newspaper, acquire that knowledge, information, which was regularly getting updated. So analytical skills is very important, and you can cultivate these analytical skills by reading such articles and material which is analytical in nature. And for this purpose, I think editorial articles of a newspaper are the best. But my friends, if you don't do it regularly, if you don't do it daily, then you are not going to develop this skill. There is no pill that I can offer you that you can have that pill and tomorrow you become analytical. It comes over a period of time, so you have to work religiously. Then I come to the most important part of preparation for preparation, which is developing communication skills. Now, you may have all the knowledge sitting here, you may have all analytical skills, but the marks that you will get will depend on what you write in the examination. Many people like you come back to me and ask me, sir, how do I write answer? I keep telling them, unless you know how to write, how will you write an answer? No one tells you how to write. They will tell you how to write an answer. Having the capability to express whatever comes your mind is absolutely essential for you to write an answer. Your ability to express your thought in whichever language, whether it's Assamese, Hindi or English. For this purpose, you have to start eating, sleeping, drinking in the language that you have adopted for the examination. So if you adopted Assamese, you should start thinking, writing, speaking, everything in that particular language. So goes with English. So many of you would have Assamese as your mother tongue. Many people in my place have Hindi as their mother tongue, and they take English as the language for the examination. Now what typically happens is that you mentally translate, you think in your mother tongue, you mentally translate and put it out in English. Now you have to get over this. You have to start thinking in English. That is, if you have adopted. Nothing wrong with other languages. I think Assamese, Hindi are all great languages. But here is a purpose that you are doing for. You want to write an answer in a particular language, and hence it is important for you to start thinking in that language. That's very, very important. Now, if you don't think in that language, for you to write in that language will become very difficult. So how do you improve your writing skills? How do you improve your communication skills? Listen to this very carefully, and whatever I am going to suggest, do that daily. I repeat this word daily because if you don't do regularly and daily, it will not benefit you. Let me tell you, in the past 5 years, I've guided a lot of aspirants to civil service. Many of them are in the IAS, the Foreign Service, the Police Service, have benefited out of the drill that I am going to suggest. So every morning, you pick up the newspaper, select one of the editorial articles, stand in front of a mirror and speak that article aloud but gradually. Each word should be spoken out very clearly. Now you must be wondering, what is this going on? What has this to do with civil service exam? My dear friend, if you do it regularly, you will see that your comprehension improves, you will see that your articulation improves, you will see that your knowledge improves. So after you've read it aloud, and as you read it aloud, use this phone and record it. The reason for recording is that first, you will understand where you are going wrong, and second, over a period of time, you will be able to find out how you have improved. It will help you improve. So first, read it aloud in front of a mirror. Then keep the newspaper down and speak it out in your own words. Again, very important, because you may have read, you would have forgotten, you have not understood. But my friends, whatever you understood, speak it out. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, speak it out. It will help you improve your articulation. It will help improve your logic. It will help improve your presentation. Ultimately, it will help improve your answer writing as well as in your interview. So read it aloud, speak it aloud, and then what you do is pick up a piece of paper and write it in your own words. You will struggle, I am telling you in the beginning, because you haven't done this exercise, and you will probably curse me that how in the hell is going to help you write in the examination. My friends, the day you are able to express your thoughts logically on a piece of paper, preparation for the IAS or the civil service exam will become very easy, because whatever you read, whatever you analyze, you will be able to seamlessly express it. So both for improving your verbal communication as well as written communication, this drill is extremely important. Read it aloud in front of a mirror, speak it out, and then write it down in a piece of paper. Over a period of time, you will start feeling that your thoughts are started flowing through your pen. Now, I am not right now asking you to answer right answers. I am asking you to write to improve your writing skills. So this set of reading, speaking and writing is extremely critical for you to get into the habit of expressing your thoughts in words, in verbally and in writing fluently. I did that personally after my class 12, and I have benefited enormously. I can speak and write fluently in English as well as in Hindi because I practice this regularly. Regularity is very, very important. There's another dimension to be added for improving communication skills, that is, which I had mentioned for improving analytical skills also, that you should discuss. Now here I would suggest that 4 or 5 of you should constitute yourself in a WhatsApp group. On every day, on a fixed time, discuss a current topic or any other topic. You can decide which topic you want to discuss on the following day, but do that regularly, because this will help you articulate your views. You can also use this as an opportunity to clarify your doubts, because if you have any doubts, someone in the group may be able to explain to you. Nothing better than discussing an idea in a small group, which is a very focused group, which is also working towards the goal that you are aiming at. And if you do that, your articulation will improve, your presentation will improve. So friends, what I have tried to tell you is that for preparing for the civil service, of course, there are general issues relating to discipline, relating to working out your daily schedule, but more specifically, your approach to acquisition of knowledge has to be very clear. You have to select the right book. You have to read them correctly. Second, you have to develop analytical skills. And third, you have to develop communication skills. I keep emphasizing communication skills because if you somehow manage to qualify for the civil service and you don't improve your communication skills, I can guarantee that you will fail as a civil servant. Any one of you wanting to become a civil servant would like to be a successful civil servant. And if by chance you are unable to make it to the civil service and you have improved your communication skills, the chances are that you will succeed in life. I have only that much to say. What I will now do is take your questions that have appeared here and attempt to answer those questions. So I've been given a few questions. Going to gym is good, bad, or just simply wasting my time? This is by Indranil Chaudhary. Indranil, There is absolutely nothing wrong in going to a gym. You should. For keeping yourself physically fit. It's very, very important. See, you have 17 hours a day. Even you spend 1 hour in a gym, nothing wrong. And in fact, I would suggest, while you are running on a treadmill, who stops you from revising what you've read in the morning? In fact, you can multitask easily. When you're lifting your weights, who stops you from revising what you've read in the morning? That actually you're doing a physical exercise. Mentally, you can still be trying to revise what you've read. So, going to gym is not at all harmful. In fact, you need not necessarily go to a gym. I mean, I used to walk briskly, and while walking up and down, what I used to do was revise what I had read earlier, and it helped me enormously. I used to walk late in the afternoon at around 5 o'clock. 5 to 6 I used to walk. Whatever I read during the course of the day before that, 5 to 6 I was revising one after the other. It helped me enormously. The second is suggestions for what should working professionals do to manage time. This is by Dimpy Sakya. Dimpy, you are competing with those that are spending the entire day preparing. So, you are a bit handicapped. So, my suggestion to all of you is, you can continue to do your work, you can continue to work out your schedule for the day, but at least 1 year before the exam, you will have to take leave. You will have to commit 1 year. I do not advise people to take too many attempts to civil service exam, but whenever you decide, you must be able to dedicate 1 year totally. Before that, my suggestion is, you work out your time schedule. Where do you work? What are the timings that are available with you in the office? As I said, as you travel to the office, as you return to the office, how do you spend your time? So you have to work out your schedule and spend as much time as possible as you can read. But my suggestion again would be that you will have to dedicate and commit at least 1 year. How to improve answer writing, since I don't have the art of answer writing? Subhajit, I have already explained to you and I'll repeat it here. Don't worry about answer writing at this point in time. I don't know which year you are appearing. If that were given me, I would explain to you at length. But let me tell you, first you should improve your writing. Are you able to express whatever thoughts? Like I am having a chat with you just now. If immediately after this session, if you were to sit down and write down what you spoke or what I spoke to you fluently, then you were right. Then you talk in terms of answer writing. Many aspirants ask me, sir, how do I write answer? The question that I ask them is, do you know how to write? If you don't know how to write, how can you write answer? We assume that we know how to write, but the drill that I have told you regarding reading of newspaper, speaking that newspaper and writing what you've read, if you can successfully do that, then you are able to write. Then I'll tell you how to write an answer. But before that, I think the focus has to be on writing. Sir, how to do revision and to what time after reading a subject? As I explained to you, the first revision happens immediately after you've read. As I said, you read it in a very intently, in a very focused manner, and then you try and understand, and the first revision happens immediately thereafter, within 5 minutes of what you've read. So you put the book down and revise. That's the first revision. The second revision will come much later after you've done that entire subject. You go back. The chances are that you'll remember a lot if you followed the drill that I've suggested of reading intently, of understanding, of reflecting and discussing. If you've done that, the second revision will be very easy for you because you would remember most of it. This revision actually should be through either highlighting or the points that you would have made. So if you do that, you should be able to do that. Here again, there is a question of tips of answer writing. Sir, how can I improve my personality overall? Bolin Das. You know, Bolin, personality is constituted by a number of attributes that you have. So don't worry about too many things. First, let me tell you, if you improve your communication skills, you will start feeling very confident. Again, I am telling you this with personal experience. Earlier, after class 12, I was not very confident about myself because I was not sure whether what I was saying was a true reflection of what I had in mind. Once that happens, you will gain in confidence, and gaining in confidence will improve your personality. Second, if you do physical exercises, physically you will improve. So psychologically you will improve, physically you improve, your personality will improve. So it's very important for you to build your personality gradually And one of the major attributes of personality is your ability to communicate, is your ability to express your thoughts seamlessly, because many of us don't have that attribute and we are not very sure of ourselves, and hence we keep quiet. We say kahin galti to nahi ho jayegi. We may commit a mistake and we don't speak, without realizing that committing a mistake is a very natural phenomenon. Almost everybody on earth has committed some mistake or the other. This is directly related to your confidence levels, and your confidence levels are directly related to your ability to communicate yourself. The next question is, done education in government schools where my medium of communication was Assamese. How do I improve English? I have explained to you at length. Use the newspaper, use the editorial articles to speak, read, and you will gradually see an improvement. And then of course, in WhatsApp group, you communicate. You know, improving communication is a function of your vocabulary, is a function of your practice. The more you practice, the more you speak, it will improve. But without doing that consistently, and I keep repeating that, if you don't do the drill that I have suggested to do regularly, then I'm afraid that you may not be able to improve your communication skills. Speak as much as you can, and the drill that I have suggested, I'm certain both your, the Anil Swarup that you're seeing speaking fluent English was not the Anil Swarup when I did in class 12. I used to stutter. I was not sure of the words that I had. So by improving my vocabulary, by practicing reading, by practicing speaking, my communication skills improved. We have some more questions here. How can I keep awake for studying? I sleep a lot. Is it night or morning time to study? You know, it's a personal choice whether you want to study in night or in the morning. I used to initially study in the night, but then I took law as a paper and I rang up a friend of mine to ask him, boss, how will I be able to learn so many case studies? So he told me that you have to get up early in the morning. So how do I get up early in the morning? Now listen to this carefully. If you want to change your habit, you have to associate that change with something which you like. So during those days, we did not have this T20 or 50 over matches. We had test matches. An Indian team was traveling to Australia. Those that know cricket would understand that test matches in Australia start at 5:30 in the morning. And India plays 5 test matches. So I woke up for 25 days at 5:30 in the morning. I got into the habit that even today I wake up at 6 o'clock. Automatically. So it's a question of developing that habit. How can you develop your habit? It may appear to be a joke, but you can take it seriously as well. You are Prakash. Okay. So if you have a girlfriend who rings you up at 5:30 in the morning, you will jolly well wake up. Ask her to ring you up in the next 20 days. You'll wake up. The short point that I'm trying to make here is associate that change with something which you like. Don't push yourself. Let that change not be burdensome. If it is burdensome, you'll find a reason not to do it. But if you want to change, associate it with something which you like. Newspaper reading is important, or we can skip. This is by Hirak. If you heard me correctly, I said there are 3 pages of newspaper that are important. You can skip the top page. You can skip the last page. But 3 pages are important. One is the editorial page. Read the entire editorial page, because that's the crux of the newspaper. That's the crux for acquiring knowledge. That's the crux for becoming logical in your presentation. Very, very important page in newspaper is the editorial page. Second, the page on economy is critical. And third, the page on international relations. If you read these 3 pages, I think that's sufficient for a newspaper. You don't have to read the entire newspaper. Sir, I am introvert. Discussing topics with people fears me a lot. How to overcome? No, it's not very difficult. You know, you must look at the reason why you are introvert. You are introvert because you feel that I may speak the wrong thing, whether I am speaking the right word. So you have to practice. And how do you practice? In front of a mirror, something which I've told you. The moment you start having confidence in yourself, the moment you are able to express yourself properly, you will cease to be introvert. Let me tell you, because the fundamental reason for introvert is your fear, your apprehension that you may speak the wrong thing, you may speak the wrong word, you're not sure of what you're speaking. You have to develop that confidence, and that can be done through the drill that I have suggested to you. Unable to manage time. This is Indrani. What is the best approach to manage time? Indrani, as I suggested earlier, what you should do is, you should make out how you are spending the time now. Because we are afraid of looking at mirror. When I say mirror, your own self, internally. how exactly you are spending your time. You will discover how you are wasting your time. And once you identify that wastage of time, you should be able to use it. Secondly, if you are enjoying what you are doing, and enjoyment could be watching this, so you do it. If you are enjoying what you are reading and learning, then you will not waste your time, because your enjoyment comes from a purpose of getting into the civil service. Then done education, this we've done, medium of communication with SMEs. I am a parent with child and also working. How to balance? Mosby, you are a proud parent and you will do your child a lot of proud if you do well in the civil service exam. I know it is tough for you. If you can get some help, your mother-in-law, to take care of the child, because civil service requires a lot more commitment. So it would be great if your mother or mother-in-law can help you manage your child. Of course, you will be spending a lot of time with the child as well, but you will have to have some help who can take care of the child, and you can focus on your study. And you are also working. So it's double whammy for you. You know, being with the child as is working, you will have to find a way. You have to take, my suggestion is 1 year, you have to be totally focused on the examination. How to prepare in a very short period? Will it be possible, or it does need time? It does. Is it Jinti Kalita? There are no shortcuts to civil service exam. I don't have a suggestion to offer. How do you do? I mean, there is no package available in my pocket that I can give it to you. Do it in short term. It's not that. Civil service exam is not Maggie. It's not a 2-minute culture. It requires time, at least a year's time, maybe 15 months, 2 years' time to prepare for civil service. I do not have an answer to this question, because I don't believe that there is any shortcut to preparing for civil service exam. Essay writing tips. No, what I will do is I'll take a separate session on how to write an essay. But Bishanta, since you asked this question, don't worry about the essay part right now. Worry about your ability to express your thoughts. Now, I can give you tips about essay writing, but if you don't know how to write, you will not be able to write an essay. So focus on improving your writing skills. I would suggest, I think this session of mine is being recorded. Watch it again to see how do you improve your writing skills. To me, that's critical at this point in time before you talk in terms of writing an essay. Housewife with a lot of responsibilities, how to overcome? Obviously, you can't overcome. A housewife cannot run away. You have to take those responsibilities. But I think if you have somebody around who can share some of those responsibilities, you will be able to spare time. See, you will require time for civil service. I've never been in your position, so I don't know what it means. I'm only guessing. So you'll have to find somebody who can share with you some of the house-related responsibilities and then focus on the civil service exam, because both will be a bit difficult. There are many of those who made it to the civil service despite such handicaps, but I don't know how to go about it. Communication is important or not. Whatever I've spoken to you so far, I have clearly emphasized that communication skills is perhaps the most important aspect of my presentation today. You have to develop communication skills. I have suggested to you how you can do that, and please do that. How can I improve my vocabulary? Since now when you are talking, you are a good orator. How can I? It's not very difficult. It's time consuming. I have suggested a book to you. I have also suggested to you, when you read a newspaper editorial article, you will come across phrases and words you don't understand. You must try and get those meanings from Google, and then try and mentally recall those words, recall how those words could be used. Once you improve your vocabulary, I think your communication skills will also improve. I have also suggested a book by Norman Lewis, 30 Days to More Powerful Vocabulary. Do that. And in your conversations, try and use those words. Many times you will use those words wrongly, doesn't matter. All of us commit mistakes. I committed mistakes using the word wrongly, but over a period of time, you develop those communication skills. How to keep ourselves motivated throughout the journey. Sometimes, see, Rajiv, it's a very interesting question. How do you keep yourself motivated? You know, the motivation comes from the ultimate objective that you have in mind. You've decided to become a civil servant. It's not an easy journey. So the best way to keep motivated is to enjoy the small victories that what are these small victories? So suppose you're studying, if you are a student of political science, you're studying Plato, and you understand the philosophy of Plato, that should give you a sense of satisfaction. No, unfortunately, we had to keep you waiting today for the seminar, this webinar today, which was supposed to start at 10 o'clock. We were ready in the hotel at 9:15. Why at 9:15? Because I knew the time it would take to come here, and I take pride in the fact that during the course of my career, I was not late to any meeting. Today I got late because the vehicle came late to me. I take pride and I feel happy about it. Now you should feel happy about good things that you're doing. So for example, whatever you do, if you do it well, feel happy about it. That's how you keep yourself motivated. Motivation does not come by only qualifying for the civil service exam. That is not in your hands. Qualification, not qualification. We all say, Karmanne vadikaraste ma felichu kadachana. The results are not in our hand. What is in our hand is what we are doing now. And if you enjoy this journey, if you enjoy the moments, if you take pleasure in the moments that you're spending, then the journey becomes easier and you will not feel demotivated because you're enjoying the moments. I'm talking to you, I'm enjoying it. Post-retirement, I had no business to go around talking to people like you, but I enjoy doing it and that keeps me motivated. Motivation does not merely come from the ultimate objective that you have in mind. I am financially not sound, I am unemployed, could not afford coaching. But see, Sudarshan, I can't comment on your inability to fund your coaching. But let me tell you, if you get the right guidance, if you can get hold of somebody who can guide you, that should be good enough for you to prepare for the exam. Being a law graduate, one, I'm afraid to choose civil services. Give me some tips. Ankita, I don't know what sort of tips you are asking for, but why not go for civil service? I've explained to you how you prepare for civil service. And if you prepare the way that I've suggested, the chances are that you'll be able to make it. Is that it? We have the last question now. CSAT tips for this paper. I am bad at maths. Can I pass this? See, CSAT is a qualifying exam, at least in the UPSC, I'm sure in the state level. You have to get only about 33-34% marks to qualify for CSAT. There are books available which help you understand numbers. Some people are not very comfortable with numbers, so you'll have to look at some basic numbers. There are playbooks. I would suggest to the institute, coaching institute here, that they should suggest those books to you so that you start enjoying numbers. And very rudimentary numbers, because if you don't enjoy numbers, then numbers can get at you. So you will have to start enjoying numbers. So that is it. That is the number of questions that I had. I hope what I have spoken to you makes sense to you. If you have any more questions, you can send it to the institute and I will see that answers go to you somehow. So all the best to all of you. What I would suggest to you, keep smiling, enjoy the journey. Results are not in your hand. All the best. God bless you.
So, thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. Put forward it with so many tips, as well as we have learned a good insights on how to prepare, what are the questions. We have got a lot of queries, lot needs to be explained. So, yes, sir will be available to us, and also we have got other mentors also who will be focusing on your journey preparation. So if you have got any doubts, you can got any queries, you can write to us, you can contact us on the following numbers given below. You can register for the various courses that is available on the CSAP app. Also, you can visit our csap.co.in, that is the website, and you can apply and you can get your queries done. Okay, so that is all for today from our side in this webinar session. So I thank you, Shri Anil Swarup sir, who has come out a long distance to Guwahati to attend this webinar. We will be also focusing on seminar in the evening. So whoever wants to be present in an offline seminar which will be organizing today in the evening time period of around 4 p.m. So you can come join us the seminar with Anil Swarup sir in an offline medium in our headquarter, in our head office, CSAP IAS Academy, Krishnanagar, Chandmari, Guwahati 781003. So if you want to join us, you can come down, and also you can go through this video for this wonderful tips that he has shared in this particular session of this webinar. So I thank you all from the entire CSAP IAS Academy. I thank you, Mr. Rajdeep Lekharu, Director CSAP, as well as Mr. Anil Swarup, sir, who has planned this entire journey to make this session or to help every student out in this particular region of India. Thank you all. We'll meet you soon with another video at some later stage of time. This is Jaipur Kalita signing off. Thank you all.